everybody, and welcome to another enVision's Algebra 2 Topic 4 Lesson 5 video. In this lesson, we are looking how to solve problems, and now we're going to look at solve problems with extraneous solutions and our triads. So in example 3, we saw what extraneous solutions are. We saw that we have to determine the extraneous solutions before we really get into the meat of solving these problems. And so in this one, we're going to look at, again, what are the solutions to the following equations. And I'm going to assume that we're going to have extraneous solutions here. Okay, so let's grab this example and take it to my handy dandy notebook here. And let's jump right into this. So looking at my denominator, I have the same denominator on these two rational expressions, and the denominator in this one expression is 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that common denominator across the board, just like we did in the last example. 7 times x minus 2 plus 10 over x minus 2 times x minus 2. So what I did, I multiplied x minus 2 to one side. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. So I multiplied x minus 2 to the other side. Those can cancel out, and we're left with 5x equals 7x minus 14. I'm distributing that right away, plus 10. All right, so I went straight into the meat of the problem, and I did not do what I told you all to do. Let's find what values x cannot be. So x cannot equal 2, because if x is equal to 2, that'd make this denominator and this denominator equal to 0, and you cannot have 0 in the denominator. So right now we know that when we work this out, if we get a solution of 2, then we cannot use that solution because it makes our function undefined. Sorry, that was a book. Okay, so now working through this, I'm going to subtract 5x to keep the x positive. I now have 0 equals 2x minus 4. Add the 4 to each side. Since this is linear, we could just add the constant to one side to solve for the x on the other. Divide by 2. And we get 2 equals x. Well, now here's the thing. At the very beginning, we said that x cannot equal 2. And so, because this is an extraneous solution, we have no solution. There is no solution to this problem that will make this expression or this equation true. So this equation has no solution. All right, let's see this study tip. Remember to multiply all terms on both sides of the equation by the least common denominator. That's what we did. All right, so let's look at part B. All right, so what are the solutions to the following equations? Again, we need to find the least common denominator or the least common multiple. In this case, we have two different types of fractions, or not fractions, factors. The first factor that we have is x minus 3, and the second type of factor we have is 4. So my least common multiple is 4 times x minus 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and multiply it to each term. Times 4 times x minus 3 equals x over x minus 3 times 4 times x minus 3 minus x over 4 times x minus 3. All right, eliminate anything that is just causing issue. And before I go on, I'm going to say that x cannot equal 3. So we cannot have a solution of 3 when this is all said and done. 3 times 4, well, 3 times 4 is going to be 12. 12 is going to equal 4 times x, which is 4x, minus x squared plus 3x. Because remember, this minus belongs to this x, and when I distribute that, this sign changes. We're working with a quadratic. It's easier to work with a quadratic if it's equal to 0. So we have negative x squared plus 7x minus 12. I don't like working with negative x, so I'm going to plot a negative 1. And that's an x squared minus 7x plus 12. Looking at factors, I'm looking at 3 and 4. This is positive, but this is negative. So both of these are going to be negative to get that negative, and positive, or negative times a negative would be a positive for that positive. Zero product property, we know that negative 1 itself cannot equal 0, so I'm going to focus here on the x's to see what one of these factors values will give us 0. So I have x equals 3 and 4. But going back to the original equation, we said that x cannot equal 3. That is our extraneous solution. That means we do have a solution, which is 3, but when we substitute it back in, it's going to make our function undefined. So my solution, my final solution here is x equals 4. It's always, always, always important to look at extraneous solutions. If you're not looking at those extraneous solutions and you give me 3, 4 for an answer, you are incorrect, at least 50% of it. So always, always, always look for those extraneous solutions. All right, next one is a try it. I would like to see you guys try it for both of these. Again, find the least common denominator by finding the least common multiple of the denominator, and then multiply that through. Also find, before you do all that, what x cannot be, and that'll give you your solutions. All right, well, I'll catch you in the next video.